Hey everybody, we're going back to Ren. It's been a while. I'm a bit under the weather at the minute, so I thought I want to listen to some music, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to listen to Bittersweet Symphony, the Verve song by Ren. It's one that I think was roundabout when he was just starting to really break through. I'm not quite sure. I do know, obviously, the song that he's kind of using, whether that means he's using the backing track or things like that, I'm not quite sure. But it's going to be an experience. If you're new here, hit subscribe, hit like, drop a comment. But we're going to dive in to Ren, Bittersweet Symphony, and see what we get. He is. I'm going to pause there. I'm going to hit some facts. Maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't know. I mean, I've mentioned this over the years to people, but you know, the song Bittersweet Symphony by the Verve obviously was based on the orchestral version of the Rolling Stones' The Last Time. Now, the Verve, as far as they're aware, got the licenses to actually use the backing track in the song, but as it turned out, they didn't get it done properly. So what that meant, the major legal dispute happened, and basically, ultimately, the songwriting credits and the royalties went to Mick Jagger and Keith Richards. And basically, the Verve didn't get much at all. I think it was around £1,000 or something. When you think about how massive that song was, they didn't get a penny from it. Now, I know in 2019 that Mick Jagger and Richards agreed to give the licenses and credits back to members of the Verve. So it took time, but it got there in the end. So, yeah, it's interesting that someone like Ren is using this, because I know how he fights sometimes against things that have been said about his music or tracks that weren't his when they actually were. So it's interesting that he used this backing track. Very interesting. Probably for a reason too, because he's a very intelligent man.
I've got dirt on my Reeboks from staying up all night. Spent my last £10 on this pack of Marlboro Lights. I phoned up Stevie, I said, G, you alright? He said, it's 6 in the morning, brother, get some shut-eye. I feel a sense of well-being this time in the morning. Wear my heart out of my hoodie while the city is snoring. Drunks falling off the sidewalks get issued a warning. Distant sirens, they crescendo like a symphony calling. This is the Britain I know, this is the Britain I love.
Do you know what it is, what I love about this? With many of his videos that we've watched, but this one in particular, he's literally just walking down the street. Like, I wonder if anybody even recognized him when he was walking down the street. And, you know, his story, you know that he's telling the truth. He gets up at 6 a.m., walks down the street. Now, I do like that as well. I love to people watch, love to get out there and see the reality of Britain. So let's keep going.
Inside the city, if you listen enough. Working class casualties out on the street sleep rough, while a mother with
true,
her baby
brother.
takes her pram to the pub. And while she's knocking them down, the cost of living goes up. I can't relate to politicians with their head in the mud. I resonate with messy Fridays with the boy smoking bud. We do.
You know what it is? He's obviously got these lyrics pre-written. There's no way these were done on the fly. But it's almost like too much chance of somebody walking past with their baby, people sleeping in the streets. So maybe some of these lyrics were on the fly. If you know, let me know. And I don't doubt his ability to be able to spit on the go like that. I really don't. But it's brilliant because nobody knows who he is. You can see these people as you walk past him. They haven't got a clue. I would love it. Because the cameraman would have been stood there, and there's obviously going to be a backing track playing so that he can keep himself to the tempo of the track. So, lovely.
As below, so above, and as above, so below. Here in the city we glow. I blow a smoke ring up to heaven, and it makes a halo. And then the clock strikes 7. Guess it's time to head home. My companion is the city, so I'm never alone. I'm stepping in and out of gaps of the pavement cracks, and if I go to sleep now,
this is brilliant, man.
People rise for work, and the sun mirrors that. A perfect juxtaposition for those out on the lash. Bear with me, it's beautiful. I think it's irrefutable.
Oh man,
predicting Britain, indisputable. Junkie in the cubicle, that old spoon is usable. His mother's in the black suit, crying at a funeral.
He's got this ability to shout out. I mean, obviously we've seen some of his other songs before where he spits truths and facts about his own personal life and his own experiences and the terrible things that he's been through. But this is right now just throwing it at reality. You know, if we jump back to the previous, before I paused last time, you know, working 9 to 5, you know, while the cost of living goes up and nothing else changes. It's very true. And looking at this 2 years on, things haven't really improved any, you know? They really, really haven't.
9 to 5 crucible, this route is not commutable. A kid falls off the tracks and then he serves a scratch at juvenile. Libby's at the goalies, but her disposition's humourful. While Davy's at the bookies and his mates call him delusional. Britain, drink it down and moan about the weather when the sun starts shining through the factor 10 tremor. Boys, we'll be in it together until the fist starts.
Okay, so it is set up. A lot of the scenery, it is set up because that didn't happen. that didn't happen. A lot of it is prepped and ready as he's walking around. But I love how he's done this and the realism of it all. Talking about whoever it was in the book, his friends saying he's delusional. This like I want to call it the American dream, but it's Britain's version of the dream where we can just get rich quick, and it doesn't quite happen.
Flying McGregor and then he's out. I think he took it too far. I think the boy saw red. I think he hit him too hard. Now he's face down on the pavement with the face full of tar. Mad how small altercations can define who we are. That's my cue. I guess it's time to head home. It's bittersweet how my high found its way to below. And I've said it once before, as above so below. Living on the streets of Britain, you just go with the flow. But I'm done. I'm out for the night. As the sun paints the pavements, I'll turn out the light. White noise on the radio to quiet my mind. Always was an overthinker, just the way I'm designed. Britain, drink it down and moan about the weather. When it's all said and done, we'll be in it all together. Boys, we'll be like you forever. It's a bittersweet symphony, we're birds of a feather.
Shout out. I mean, just make sure there's nothing at the end. There's the black screen. What can I say about Ren in this song? And in this one, I have done, completely the wrong way around or whatever. This one was out long before ones that we've already watched. But it's an experience. It's nice to go back to one of his very, very old ones. And there's lots of new ones that I could do with catching up with. I really, really could. He's just so real. And his lyrics are so real. And that's what makes him so... not likable. He's obviously likable, but it's not the right word I'm looking for. Like approachable, real. You know what I mean? He's very much a bloke. If you saw him and you wanted to have a pint, you could have a pint with him. You know what I mean? You could have a sit down chat with him, and he's incredibly intelligent with the use of the lyrics. His puns on Brits complaining about the weather, but we're in it all together. It's very, very true. And there are so many things that he called out in those lyrics that make you think, okay, this video was 2 years ago. Nothing's changed. But if you look at this video right now, this had 8.5 million views. And I'm still quite surprised at how I can talk about Ren suggest that someone, you've got to check out Money Game or whatever. You got to check this guy out. You got to listen to his song. And people are like, never heard of him. I am so surprised of it because he's massive in his own right. He's a lyrical genius. He's been through so much. He allows rising tides, we all rise together. What was the term he used? All ships rise together. But basically, like I say, he likes people to talk about and share his music, which is why on reactions there are so many of Ren, because in the music industry, so many of these reactions get blocked before they even go live. And when we think about how very cleverly how he does this, because if we think about it, when you would listen to the radio, not many of us listen to the radio anymore. A lot of us listen to Spotify or any other streaming service. We don't really listen to music on the radio anymore. And that would be a place where we would discover new music. And that can go way, way back to when you'd sit there with your tape recorder, you press record as soon as the song started, press stop, so you can hear it again, And right now, where I'm basically going with it is on YouTube is where I find a lot of the music for me to listen to. It's where I discover new artists. I'll go to my favorite reactor or my favorite blogger or someone like that who's interviewing somebody, and I'll find out about these music. And I think YouTube and this sort of visual platform is a fantastic place to meet and listen to new music. So again, shout out to Ren for what he does with that, Let me know what you thought of the song. You've probably heard it 100 times over. Yeah. Let me know what you think. Much love from me, and I'll see you in the next one.